Hi guys, once again welcome to Achimota Farms, and my name is Fred. If today is your first time watching any of our videos here at Achimota Farms, we bring you life and experiences at the ranch, at the poultry farm, and other projects that we do here around the farm. Once in a while, I will throw in some advice from my own view and opinions, or some of advice that I've been hearing from you guys. So if this is your trend, or you're thinking about going into farming in Ghana or anywhere in Africa, please subscribe and then click on the notification bell so that every Tuesday and Saturday when we release a new video, you get the notification. But today we are bringing you a new episode about the source of water and power on our farm. I know most of you are buying lands further away from the community due to one, cost, fertility of the soil, and away from noise as well. So many other factors included are the reason why we sometimes purchase land in the middle of nowhere to start our farm. So if our farm is in the middle of nowhere, I know we are thinking of accessibility, which is road. Secondly, we are also thinking about water, and most importantly, power. So if your farm is in the middle of nowhere and you don't have electricity and you have no lake or river by your land, how do you get water to either feed your cattle, your poultry, or even irrigation when you're doing crops? How do you get power to generate electricity for so many other reasons? And that is why I'm bringing you this episode. Stay tuned as we bring you more details on the source of power and water at the farms. Welcome back, guys. So as I said, today we're going to be looking at the source of water and power, and I'm going to share some of my experience here in the beginning of this farm or this ranch with you. I apologize for the wind. It's out of our control, but I'll try to speak as loud as I can, but in case it does comes out again, please forgive us. So when you're starting your farm, whether it being poultry, whatever livestock farming, or if you're thinking about irrigation, one of the things that you need is water, either being a drinking source or for irrigation, watering. And then power. Power, depending on what kind of farm you're doing, you might need it or might not. So let's take it step by step. What was our experience here at Achimota Farm relating to water and power? Hopefully you can learn something from it. Hopefully you can get some idea from what we went through. When I started this ranch, I knew that water is one of the best and most important things to cows. Most people do not value how much water cows need, but as I told you a couple of weeks ago, that cows need 3% of their body weight of food. Have you thought about water? They actually need 6%, which is times 2 of the food that they eat of water. That means water for cows is very important. If you're randomly grazing, this is a very serious problem, because you mostly will give them water when you get to a water source once, and that is it. What if they don't even find a water source? But if you're doing intensive farming like I'm doing here, then you definitely need a good and reliable source of water. So with that in mind, we decided to get on the journey, which was a rough journey. First, I didn't want to drain my water during the rainy season. Why? Because I believe, I have no fact proving this, so just take my word for it. You can do more research, but I believe that in the rainy season the water table rises. So if the guys come to drill, they drill very few distance and they'll get to water, and then they'll put the pipe to that place. In the dry season, the water table reduces, and if the pipe is not long enough to get to the base of it, then you end up not getting water. This was my theory, so I decided to wait till the dry season, somewhere around December, January, February, and that is when I decided to drill my water here at the ranch. So I decided to drill my water, as you can see here, and they drilled and drilled and drilled. In the beginning, I had never drilled before, so these guys came with 2 magnets, went around, surveyed the land, and said, this is where you need to drill. So we did the drilling, and the water started coming. Note, we were powering the water with a generator, so the water came, and after filling half of a 5,000 capacity poly tank, the water will cut. So we asked ourselves why. So they said maybe it's because of the pump. We changed the pump and we put a new pump in, and still after filling half of a 5,000 capacity poly tank, the water will stop, which wasn't enough to serve the cattle for a couple of days and as well as the poultry. So we decided, no, we need to drill a new water because the source there wasn't strong enough. If you look at geography, I'm not an expert in it, but I know that the water is traveling under the soil, right? So anytime they are surveying, they are looking for a stream, a water table that is flowing, and then they try to drill on that table. I told the same guys, and they brought another machine and tested again and drilled the second one. The second one, when they drilled to the bottom, the water was splashing. It took us nights and we were all very happy. They drilled very deep, deeper than the one they did at first. And then the next day we came back to actually test it. We tested it, and still it was even less. It will just come for about 5 minutes and there will be no more water. We will have to wait for the following day before. I knew this wasn't going to work, and this was costing me money. And one thing about it is, when you drill water, here it cost me about $9,000, which is somewhere around about $3,000 to drill one borehole. And even though it's their fault and they are drilling the second one, the pipes are already on the ground. And note, you cannot retrieve those pipes. So the only thing they can help you with is they come in to drill, but you need to buy the pipe, which is majority of the cost. The pipe alone was costing me $3,000 to about $4,000, if my memory serves me right. So this was being very costly for me, and I was very frustrated. So after the second attempt, I decided to relax a little bit and then do more research on my own. I watched a couple of videos on YouTube and so on, and asked a lot of people, and realized that mostly where they were digging their water was a thin stream of water flowing. From an Indian video that I watched, I realized that what you need is where 2 water streams are crossing. So you might search and see a water stream going, but that water stream, you need to trace it to where a second water is coming from the opposite direction to cross it. On that point where the 2 meet is where you drill your water. If you have an expert doing this work for you, then you have this knowledge. But unfortunately, I might say I didn't have the expert, and therefore I had to do this research before I went ahead to drill my 3rd water, which was a whole new cost I had to pay. That was actually higher. I think I paid about 10,000 cedis for that water. This was very troublesome, and as you can imagine, I'm spending almost 20,000 cedis on just drilling water. It took a lot of determination and frustration to get this done. But after my 3rd water, it has been successful. I actually changed my poly tank from 5,000 to 10,000, and this water is able to power it, to fill it up, and we're able to use it here at the farm for about 1 week before refilling it. That has been the source of water. So here I am drilling. I'm using water that has been drilled and pumping it with generator into a poly tank to store it for about 1 week, and then consuming it. After that, I refill it. That is the source of water that we use here. that was the experience that we've had. We know that cattle needs it, chicken needs it, you know, and then the human being as well who live here also needs it. So if you're thinking about buying a land in the middle of nowhere, please go and test if you can drill water there before acquiring it, because without water it's going to be hectic for you to do any sort of farming, or especially livestock farming. Oh, unless I forget, so the pump that is going to be in the water to pump it up into your product tank, we need a power source. So that pump is electric. So it's either you connect to a generator, as I said, or you have a different power source to generate, which takes us to our next topic, which is the source of power here at the ranch. So in terms of power here at the ranch, we've tried so many, and I know there are so many different sources. So most of the innovative source is solar system. You know, you can also use a generator, you can use a plant. I will show you what I have used, but let's talk about these three. So solar panel is something that I've seen other people using. I'm still doing a research, because that is the future of what we are going to do here. We are blessed with the sunshine, and if you look at the portrait pen, it has roofing sheets that you can easily display solar panels on, and it will attract a lot of sun to actually power your whole farm. So that is the future. But one of the challenges or stories that I've heard about solar panels here in Ghana is the durability of the battery. So I am doing more research to get a quality battery, or even bring a battery myself and then buy the panels here and be able to power my farm. Other source that we've used here is generator. So we've used different horsepowers of gen sets, but we realized that sometimes we need to do a welding work here, you know, welding metals, or you know, using a bigger or heavy machine. And what happens is that the giant is not able to power it. It's also not able to power some of the machines because it's three-phase, right? So there are some disadvantages in using a generator here at the farm. So finally, what we decided is to go for what we call the Chamfer Machine. If you don't know the Chamfer Machine, I think you can see it. This machine is popularly used by the so-called galamsey operators, who uses it to power their system, which filters the sun and water when they are doing galamsey. People who use corn mill also in the villages uses this machine. So it is packed, and once it's packed, the adapter generates electricity, and that is what we are able to use it for all our three-phase machine. We use it for the baler, we use it for the chaff cutter, we use it for the corn cracker, we use it as well now to pump the water, we use it for electricity, also for the chick. And that is what we have been using as the power source. So as we go around, you'll be able to witness some of the machines that is being powered by this Chamfer. It uses diesel, and so far from what I've learned, it is very, very cost efficient. We fill the tank and it takes us about 4 weeks, plus baling, plus cutting the grass, pumping water, using it for all the things really that we need here at the farm. So that is it. So if you're thinking about a power source, as we go through this, you can choose this. You can choose a gen set, which is cheaper when you're starting and you don't have too many machines to operate on it, or you can also go in for solar, which is also possible in Ghana. So these are the three main power sources. That two we have tested here, one we are still doing more research, and we will bring you an update whenever we're able to install a solar here at the farm. I hope this has been useful. I hope you have solved some of your problems. I hope you have learned or gained some tips from water source and power source. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much.